here we have backstitch. We start our backstitch by coming up on our line a stitch length away from the beginning so that when we go back, we are covering that guideline. And we just continue up a stitch length away, down, and make sure you go down this same hole, okay? That's pretty much the only thing you need to worry about with backstitch. Otherwise, it is simple, it's pretty quick. I think it's probably my favorite linear stitch. Great for stems, great for lettering, great for all kinds of things. That's pretty much all it is. When you're doing curves, make sure you make your stitches a little smaller. That will help. If you're doing like a sharp change in direction, let's say instead of this curvy line, let's say right here, my line just abruptly changes direction. So if you have a situation like this, you want to make sure that at this junction here is where you're having those stitches start and stop. So to get that straight line, you're just doing that. So if you might need to kind of alter, I don't know if you noticed this stitch was a little bit longer, so sometimes you kind of need to plan ahead to make sure that you can stick with a consistent stitch length when you're doing things like that. So that is backstitch, and here's just a quick example of backstitch that I think looks really cool. This is the Blissful Blooms design, and it's backstitch using 6 strands, but it's pretty small. You can see it's smaller than the stitches I used here. So there's just something about the way they look, I think, contrasting the rest of the elements of the design that really makes it pop, and it almost reminds me of beading. So there's an example of backstitch in the wild.